Greetings, programmers! We're now up to episode number 10. Busted Thumbs here, doing our Music Player Studio project. And I think in this project, once again, this hopefully is another little short one where we're actually showing you an end result of playing some music together. This time having more than one clone music player working together. And that's a good thing. I was looking at the code that we had written. We were running out of time. And I realized that there are two problems with the setup we have right now. Uh, there were two notes being played, and that was a good thing. So we were looking at two different notes, which is great. But I thought they were the first note. It turns out they're not the first note. They're the last note. Because I took the play note out of the repeat. Actually, what it was doing, it was reading all of the values until it got to the very last note, and then it was just playing that very last note, no matter what instrument it was. Well, we can't do that. We have to play them as they come. So really what we needed to do was to make sure that these were in each of our instruments playing. Then once I did that earlier and I tried it out, and it turned out that there was still a problem. And I found that the problem was actually here. When we were copying the data over, I was doing something wrong. If you look down here, this one was all about setting the melody, and this one was about setting the accompaniment. And you see that we set that into music 1 and this one into music 2. And the problem I made is that I've got this one set to music 1, which means we're joining the thing from music 1. And I've also got this one set to music 1 when it should be music 2. And so what was happening even when I fixed that last one is that they were both playing the same thing, because I was just getting rid of the thing that I had inside of music instrument 2 and replacing it with the one that was in music instrument 1 over and over again. When I did that, and now I've done it for you, I can come back here, and I've got some debug message stuff in here. Let me get rid of that. Let's go ahead and set that back up again. Get rid of that debug message stuff. Okay. Now we can go into our project, and let's go ahead and make it bigger and go ahead and play it. We're going to select Twinkle Twinkle Little Star and play it. And we've got music. All right, we have a problem. I don't know if you heard that problem there. The clones are doing the right thing now. They're both playing the music that they should be playing, and they're playing it based on the durations that they have specified. And the way that works, those notes should all be lining up just right. Unfortunately, they weren't. They basically, I don't know if you could hear it, but the longer that the song went on, the more out of sync the two got. The melody and the accompaniment, they weren't playing together correctly. And that's just because they're both operating independently. They don't know what the other one is doing. And so they don't really know. If there's a little bit of a delay, say, in between playing a note and then looping back into the next thing, they've got no way of knowing how much of a delay happened on the other guys, the other clones playing, and how much happened on theirs. And because the accompaniment is actually playing a lot more notes, if there is a little bit of a delay, that's going to add up a lot quicker for the accompaniment than it is for the melody, and they're going to get out of sync. So we're going to have to fix that. We're not going to fix that in this particular episode, but we are going to have to fix that. The one thing that I wanted to do that we haven't done yet, that we got a start on last time, was working on these values, the music name, the tempo, and the volume. We're not really doing anything with those yet, and the music player really needs to be keeping track of those things. So that's something that we probably should have done when we started up as a clone. We should have made sure that our tempo and our volume and all of that is set to the actual values that we should be working with. Okay. So that means that we need to be setting our tempo, we need to be changing our volume, setting it to a certain thing, and we need to be setting our instrument as well. Okay, so the tempo is a global one. That's this tempo value here. And the volume was a global one as well, but the instrument wasn't. That came from a list. And that means that we need to use the correct thing for the item that we're working with. So what we need is the item from instruments, and what are we using? Well, it's my index, my instrument index. That should give us the values that we need to work with to start with. Okay. So now I think what you'll see, the tempo by default was 60, and I believe over here in Twinkle Twinkle Little Star we set it to 80, so it should run a little bit faster if we try this again. Yes. So that was definitely going a little bit faster. Let's try changing the instrument up a little bit, make sure that that's working. That's inside here. Just move those over a little bit. No, that's actually, it's inside Twinkle Twinkle. He's the one that sets the instrument. Now, what were those instruments again? I always forget. So let's go ahead and look at set instrument 2. Maybe we want to work with a steel drum. That would be kind of fun. So that's 18. We can make these guys be 18. And let's go ahead and try again. All right, so if you noticed there, something went wrong. The clones kept track of that instrument correctly. So we got the instrument, the steel drum was happening in the accompaniment, but it wasn't happening in the original clone. That's because we put all of this into when I started as a clone, which is the right spot for it to go. But that means that we didn't get the values that we needed to for the original guy. So let's go ahead and move this into a block because we actually now have to call this twice. Maybe, yeah, setup. What are these? The song values? Something like that. So let's move setup song values into its own little deal. And we can go ahead and just kind of move him down here somewhere out of the way. So there he is. And let's make sure that we set up the song values for the original guy, and we set up the song values for the clones as well. Try again. There we go. So now we've got a steel drum, Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, and as you can imagine, I could make them two different sounds. Let's see. If I want steel drum on the top and vibraphone as the accompaniment, that would be 16. So the first value goes to the top, the item. The second value goes to the bottom, which is our accompaniment. Let's see what that sounds like. All right. So that's kind of fun. I think we got it set up now, so it's doing the right things. It's playing the instruments for each clone, and we could have had 4 different accompaniments, and we could have had all sorts of different note setups inside of there. The problem that we have right now, of course, is that they're not staying in sync, and the other problem is that we're assuming that one note follows another. What happens in the case where we actually wanted to play one note, then we wanted to wait a little while without playing a note, and then we wanted to play another note. The way we've got it set up right now inside of our music player, it just assumes that it plays the note and then reads the next one. So in our next episode, we're going to get into a brand new concept, and that's going to be, we're going to use a kind of global music player loop, similar to what some of the games do with the game loop. We'll get that set up, and we'll actually start using broadcast to say when it is we think we should be playing the next note. Okay, so this is again another short one, but I like it because we got to the point where we're playing 2 different bits of music. A little bit off as they keep going, but we'll get that all cleaned up as we go. I do think it's cool that we've got some music playing, and this is a great time to take a little bit of break, and then I hope I'll see you on the next one where we where we spend a little more time getting it all cleaned up. In the meantime, go ahead, play with this for yourself. Go ahead and set up some music with accompaniments using that data again and see what you can come up with. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.